Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lab Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1998 Honda Prelude SiR. Another Prelude to take on our course. This is the second Prelude SiR. We've had the 96, this is the 98, and the 96 went really rather well around here. Of course, the 96 was wearing race mod, the 98 is not, purely because I could buy this from the dealer, so I could pick my own colour for it, and naturally I picked this gold, because these 5th gen Preludes do look quite good in this colour, I think. One of the only cars that I can really think of that suits gold, like this and the DeLorean, like the only ones. But no, it does look very cool in this colour, and I'm a big fan of the 5th generation Prelude, my favourite generation of Prelude. Although, I suppose that depends how good the new one is, because the new one looks very good, and, you know, if it comes to the UK and it turns out to be a hybrid, then I might go looking for it. But anyways, back on topic. Front engine, front wheel drive, 326 horsepower, 1,148 kilos. Pretty fine stats for a front wheel drive car. Obviously, Prelude's a little bit more sort of laid back than Integra's, so that is something to bear in mind. Anyways, this car is got very... How many gears is this? Oh! Oh, it's a 4-speed. The 96 SiR was a 6-speed, and this is a... That's really weird. Anyways, this car is going to have to use first gear by the looks of it, and is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land tracking node to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Audi TT LM Edition. That car set a time of 26.690. The Prelude, now especially we found out that it is a 4-speed gearbox, is not going to beat that. Now that is interesting, so I actually, as it turns out, probably saved myself from falling for a bit of a pitfall there, because we could have had the 96 just without the race mode. Hypothetically, the quickest SiR would have been this one, and it would have been hampered with the 4-speed automatic gearbox. So 31.384 on its first lap. So in terms of like, I was going to like read off the other Preludes, because we've had the 96 Type S and the 96 SiR for the 5th gen Preludes, and they've done pretty well. Both of them, well, the Type S sits with a 30.7, and the SiR is a 30.4. Obviously, with this dud gearbox is probably going to be more like the 4th gen Preludes. I think the slowest Prelude we had was a 31.243, and that is the base non-VTEC Prelude, the 4th gen, which evidently was weighed down with the optional extra TV screen that 4th gen Preludes had. Unfortunately, 5th gen Prelude didn't have that. I suppose it had the more interesting thing of 4-wheel steering, which I don't think this game attempts to replicate, although the later Gran Turismos actually do, which is interesting. GT4, I think, is the main one that's coming to mind that actually replicates 4-wheel steering, although if you put the fully customized suspension setup on a car with 4-wheel steering, which is stuff like the Celica, I think there's a Corona or something that has 4-wheel steering, and then obviously the Preludes, they have 4-wheel steering, but you can take that off if you change the suspension setup. So don't change the suspension setup if you want 4-wheel steering, although I'd still imagine fully upgraded suspension is still probably quicker than yeah, imagine fully upgraded suspension is still probably quicker than the 4-wheel steering from stock, but it gives it a little bit of an advantage for nullifying understeer, I guess. In terms of this car, I don't... we're not going to go any quicker on this lap. I think... for a 4-speed automatic... Wow, actually, okay, that's really interesting. It actually ties it with another 4-speed automatic car. Which is interesting, yeah. I think if you were to master the shifts, you probably can find an extra 0.1 in that. Obviously, the leading question would be, why would you want to do that? Just buy the 96 Prelude, but, yeah. Wow, those splits are all over the place. Yeah, there's definitely, I think, Sector 2 and Sector 3, you could sort of min-max a little bit harder and get some more out of the gearbox there, but you can see with the Sector 2, I never came close to doing what I did on the second lap. And it doesn't help that this is still like a fairly powerful front-wheel drive car, so you've still got a little bit of sliding and stuff to contend with when it comes to the gearbox as well. So I think this is one of those cars where if first gear was longer or second gear was shorter, it would have gone much quicker, but it's just on that sort of horrible spot where first gear's not quite long enough and second gear's, you know, too long. Anyways, a 31.334 will place this into 316th place. It ties it with the Mazda Affini RX-7 Touring X, which is the 4-speed RX-7, which is quite interesting. Another interesting car that it is very close to is the Honda Accord Wagon SiR, which also had a 4-speed automatic gearbox. Admittedly, the 4-speed auto in the Accord was a little bit longer, and I think if this car had that gearbox, it would go a bit quicker, but even still, there's actually more 4-speed cars here as well. There's the Subaru Alcione SVX version L and the Toyota Sora 3-litre GT. So, yeah, I think, obviously, like, it's probably the worst Prelude, unless the SiR S-Spec also has the 4-speed gearbox, but not a terrible time considering what it's lumbered with, I guess. And at least it looked cool, and it really did look damn cool. Although I do think this generation of Prelude is one of those that definitely needs a lip spoiler or something just to add to it. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Till then, farewell.